So today what I want to talk about is confidence. It's a word that a lot of people talk about in the entrepreneur space and the speaker space, and they say, I just want more confidence, right? Realtors, they want more confidence. How can I seem more confident? How can I seem more authentic? And so I've been doing membership organizations, leadership, and speaking in front of people for over 20 years. It actually started way back in college in the late 90s. And I've learned a few things, and I want to share that with people because confidence is not as difficult as we think. And sometimes it's as simply as looking back to what we've done in the past. So before we get started, what I like to do is make sure we're always on the same page when we're talking about words. So I want to start out with some terms, and I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Is that okay with you guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, all right, let's get started. So let's talk about anxiety. What is anxiety? For the purpose of this presentation, let's just assume that anxiety is simply the unknown. It's uncertainty. When something's unknown and you're uncertain about something, think about a salesperson. You're walking in, meeting somebody new, you're uncertain. It's an unknown, right? So that creates anxiety. Not knowing how the conference is going to go creates anxiety. It's uncertainty and unknown. In that regard, confidence is simply having trust in yourself, having a certainty about yourself. So what I want to talk about is how do we go from anxiety, being anxious, to confidence? And there is something that can help bridge that gap. And from what I've learned, it's simply preparedness. How prepared are you? How prepared are you for your speech? The first time you give a speech in Toastmasters, we call it your icebreaker. If you've never spoken before, you're not very prepared. You come up here, you're very anxious. I've seen some people, they came up here, we've seen it here, and they immediately just walk out. They can't even speak, right? Anxiety, the unknown. So if preparedness is what I consider to be the gap, the bridger between the gap of anxiety and confidence, well, the question is, how do we get more prepared? Now, there are different ways we can do that, such as actively preparing. I'm going to do some research, I'm going to practice in front of the mirror, but I say that there is a different way to look at being prepared. So what I did is I drew out this little graph here on my iPad. On one axis we have your level of preparedness. And then on this axis, we have your experience. I suggest that the more experience you have, the more prepared you are for situations. Your level of preparedness is increased. Does that make sense? Now, the other thing I would like you to see, and I hope you can see this over there, David, is it's what we call an exponential curve. It significantly goes up the more experience you get. It's not just a slant that goes like this. It's not what we call linear. It is exponential. So which means you are going to suck and probably have anxiety for a while. But once you get to that point, your level of preparedness is very high. And I want to give a great example of this. Whenever we come into Toastmasters and a speaker doesn't show up, sometimes a Toastmaster will go out and ask somebody, hey, would you be willing or are you able to give a speech today? Now, we can't give it to people who just did their icebreaker recently. Why? Because their experience is very low. Therefore, their level of preparedness is also low. When your level of preparedness is low, you need more active time to prepare. So I would never ask Kyle to give a speech. Kyle, can you give a speech in an hour? Because you probably wouldn't be able to. But an older member of ours, like, she could probably get up here and give a speech just by asking her. Because her experience is so high, her level of preparedness is already there. She just needs a few things and she can already do it because of experience. How do we gain experience? This doesn't seem very difficult, but sometimes it's worth pointing out and worth reminding us. You gain experience by simple repetition. That's it. And Toastmasters, that's why we come in every week and we speak. It's just putting in the reps, or simply put, do more. Whatever the thing is, just do more. Do more of the thing. But notice I said the thing. Do more of the thing. So let's talk about doing more. So how can you do more? Well, one of the ways I like to say is you commit. Now, we all have different definitions of commit, but I would like to, for the purpose of this presentation, I want to say that commit is basically the absence of options. Think about committing as removing options. I commit to her, therefore no other girl is an option to me. I'm removing all the options. I'll give you a perfect example of this. I'll give you a perfect example of how I commit. Toastmasters, we meet every Thursday, every week Thursday. That gives me 52 opportunities. Now you take out for storms and holidays and all that, I probably get 48 to 49, maybe 50 opportunities. Now every Thursday, I have it in my calendar, I'm busy. Do you guys have your busy every Thursday? Or is it possibly open in case something comes up? See, I've committed to it. So when somebody says, hey, are you available Thursday? It's not an option Thursday morning. unless it's absolutely something with work that cannot be rescheduled, something with my son I absolutely cannot reschedule, that Thursday is not an option. Therefore, I've committed to it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I'm up here talking about committing and actions and doing and experience. And the one thing that I find is when you listen to people who've practiced, right? Because we have this big culture of practicing and preaching, especially in the age of, what do we like to call them? Podcasts, right? Everybody's an expert. Turn on the camera, speak in a microphone, you're an expert. So I don't want you guys to just take my word for it, take my introduction for it. I've practiced over the years. I actually had to dig through and find a lot of this. So I want to show you guys sometimes some of the ways that I've practiced to do leadership, to speak in front of other people, to run meetings. This is the second time I ever ran a meeting as a president after college. Here's me running another meeting. This is the first time I ran a Toastmasters meeting as the president. And here I am at a chamber running a meeting as for one of the committees. Here I am with a team of exec members. Another picture of me with a different board or executive team. Another executive team, another executive team. Here I am with a statewide, what we call executive team, a whole bunch of presidents, and they're an executive team for a state organization. Here I am when I went over to the Libertarian Party and with my executive team for the county party. Now, I worked in political parties. Here I am with an elected official. Here we are again with another elected official, another elected official, another elected official, another elected official, another elected official. Here I am moderating panel for school board. Here I am at a fundraiser and statesman award dinner. Here's a contest I emceed at a division level. Here I am at the international speech contest over there in District 48. I emceed that. Here we are at the Ronald McDonald House. Here we are canvassing for a political candidate. Here we are cleaning up Pinellas County with our exec team. Here we are giving a check to an organization we raised money for. Here we are canvassing again. Habitat for Humanity, we put together a builders group. Here I am winning an award in my Toastmasters club. Another award at the club, an 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 award at the club, and to top it all off, yes, even I was voted most improved. Because we all have to start somewhere. And last but not least, I actually ran for office once. So needless to say, this is all within the past 10 years. I've done a few things because I want you guys to see that I'm not just up here preaching. I'm talking about doing more to raise your confidence. I didn't just walk out and say, man, Daryle, you're really good. You're really confident. You're comfortable talking in front of people. Because if they talk about icebergs, there's a lot under that iceberg that people don't see. So when I give tips and ways to gain confidence, this is what I'm referring to, somebody who's gone through all of this. So I want to give you guys a tip on how you can get more done. This is whether you're running for office, whether you're running the board at a meeting at a chamber, or whether you just want to sell more houses and get in front of more people. You guys ready?
Sure. Do it. Let's do it.
It's all about being decisive. How can you get more done when you're decisive? How do you do that? What do I mean by decisive? Make quicker decisions. I'll give you a perfect example of this. As an exec board, we met once a month for our organization. 4 meetings a month. As an exec board, we met once a month. And we notice, so if you do the math, that's 12 times a year. And we notice sometimes that we didn't finish everything in one meeting. And so what's that mean? You got to go a whole other month, 30 days, until you address it again with your exec team. And I've been doing this for years, longer than a decade. And I'm like, this just sucks because I'm a go-getter. I want to go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. But you can't force anybody, volunteer organization, all that. Screw that. I called them up and I just said one day, I have an idea. Let's float this. What if we met twice a month? Oh, well, it's hard enough for us to get together. Let's just do it on the phone. Let's just do it on the phone because we're leaving things that have to go over for 30 days. Doesn't make sense. They immediately agreed to that. And what's crazy is as we did that, we actually got quicker at making decisions. So we would get a decision done by the first meeting of the month, and we had already had the plan and everything to implement by the second time. Why? Because we were decisive. We were moving twice the speed of every organization because we made quicker decisions. Not only did we make quicker decisions, we made more as well. So if you think about that, what I just talked about doing, my level of experience is pretty high. So sometimes what may take somebody a week to put together, somebody who's very prepared can probably do in 1/10 of the time, maybe 1/20 of the time. Because once you start getting up to here, we like to call this mastery. So as I talk about all these things about doing, there's some things I want you guys to be aware of, some things that we may fall into as you listen to podcasts, as you talk to other people. And I like to call these be awares. Just be aware. It's a made up phrase, but all phrases and all words are made up. This is mine. Be aware. I'm going to give you 5 of them. Start with be aware 1. Here's a phrase I don't like. Fake it till you make it. I've talked about it sometimes in this club, and I'll tell you why I don't like it. There's a reason I don't like it. It's because words don't matter. It's the meaning of words that matter. Remember that. Words don't matter. The meaning of words matter. If you're doing it, you're not faking it. You're not faking it till you make it. Am I faking it till I make it right now? I'm up here speaking. Doesn't matter my level of experience or skill. This isn't faking it till you make it. So I don't like that expression. You don't fake it till you make it. You're only a faker if you're not doing it and you tell people you're doing it. Then you're faking. But if you're actually doing the thing, you're not faking it. So this whole fake it till you make it, I don't agree with it. I think it's hogwash. Second, be aware. Imposter syndrome. How many people have heard of this? Imposter syndrome. You're only an imposter if you're presenting yourself as somebody you're not. So if you're a first-time speaker, how many speeches have you given, Kyle? 3? Two. Okay. Now, if he presents himself as a world-class speaker, having spoken twice in front of a Toastmasters group, he might feel like an imposter. So don't present yourself as a world-class speaker. Just present yourself as a speaker. That's how you get over imposter syndrome. Another thing that people fall into is they start comparing themselves to others. We'll talk about that at the end. Be aware is 3. Context matters. What do I mean when I say context? Context matters. I want you to think about practicing speaking. Practicing in front of a mirror, practicing in front of people, and practicing in front of a camera are different things, and they require different experience levels. I can't speak in front of a mirror. I can't. I can speak in front of people, no problem, because I've done it way more. And because I can speak in front of people, you think it's easy to speak in front of camera. No, it's not. You look at that dead, lifeless lens, it doesn't even look back to you what a mirror does. So context matters. Be aware, number 4. I want you to think about doing. There's active and passive doing, okay? A lot of us fall into the passive doing. If you want to improve leadership, you improve it by being a leader and getting in front of people and leading people, not reading a book by Simon Sinek. Do. Active. Do active. Be aware, number 5. I want you to think of the order of operations in which we do things and how they happen in life. What do I mean? Let's talk about a saint, honorary members, and lifetime achievements. You aren't a saint until you do saintly things. You cannot become an honorary member until you do things worthy of what an honorary member would do. And you don't get a lifetime achievement award unless you spend a lifetime of achieving. So the order of operations matters. If I got to get in shape and I got to go to the gym, well, I don't got to get a little bit better before I can go to the gym because I'm quite out of shape. No, you just go to the gym. We get the order of operations mixed up sometimes. Remember, it's about doing. What I want to do now is I want to do the wrap up. Commit and be decisive. If you commit and be decisive, you're going to increase your reps and you're going to do more. By increasing your reps and doing more, you're going to get additional experience. As you get additional experience, you're going to raise your level of preparedness. You're going to reduce your need for active preparedness, and your level of preparedness, already prepared, is going to be there. And as your level of preparedness increases, you're going to increase your confidence. But if you guys pull one thing from this whole talk, if I could wrap this up in 2 words, one takeaway. There's one thing you could do to increase your confidence, 2 words. Do more. Do more of the thing. Whatever the thing is, just do more of that. Commit, reduce the options, do more of the thing. Be more decisive, do more things. Your level of experience will go up, your confidence, your level of preparedness will go up, and your confidence will increase. I said you can increase your confidence now, leaving here. And this is how we're going to do it. You ready?
Yes.
Often we compare ourselves to our circle, to the people we're around all the time. If we're an insurance agent, don't compare yourself to other insurance agents. Compare yourself to where you were 6 months ago, 10 months ago, 3 years ago. Be careful who you compare yourself to. When you compare yourself to you, you will see all the things you've done.
Preach.
Sir.
Yeah.